So if you were sitting in London, you had £100 to spend, you would want to come, you type in www.growforme.com and it'll bring you to this landing page. This landing page will show you the various crops that we have available for you to invest in. So we are going to be having pepper coming up very soon. Cabbage is also coming up very soon. We currently have available maize too. So this is the second cycle of maize that we have available. We also had soybean. Soybean in 1 week had reached its capacity. We also had maize. That again, in 1 week, we had reached the capacity. And we also have pineapple available. Now we're going to be expanding this to include things like sorghum. I did not know what sorghum was before. Sorghum is the grain that's found in drinks like malted Guinness and Guinness. So these are things that we're going to start to have. But we really focus on high demand crops. So high demand food crops, because why? We know they're going to sell very fast and they're in need. So my recommendation, or anyone that's keen to get on board today, for instance, I saw some questions around what the prices are like. You'll come to the site. The information will be, all the information is there. So you'll see what crop it is, maize. You'll see the cost per unit. So currently all of our prices are listed in Ghana cedis. So 100 cedis is equivalent. So Dental, you probably know better than I do, but are we saying the equivalent of
maybe about £20, £15?
About £14, about 14,
yeah,
£15.
Yeah, £15, yeah.
And then in dollars, we're looking about more $18, $19, I think, give or take. But I'm sure everyone has Google to hand, so you can plot that into Google and it will convert it for you. But our next version of our site will also do currency conversion, so it'll be easier for everyone when they come into the platform. But what this shows you as well is your return on sponsorship. So return on sponsorship is essentially your return on investment. We call it sponsorship because we are sponsoring farmers and there is a profit sharing model. So you essentially see what the range would be. I'll be very clear, when it comes to any form of investment, you can never guarantee what the exact return will be. And that's why we offer you a range. So we actually offer the minimum. So we're expecting there to be a minimum return of 13.53% and an upper range, which is 24.55%. And we show you what the time to harvest is as well. So we're about to kick off our farming season for maize, the middle of September, and we're about to end, and we will end that the 8th of February. So you would essentially get back your investment on or around 2 to 3 weeks after this date. So by first week of early part of March, you would get back your principal payment and your profits that you have made. So if you wanted to invest in maize, you effectively click on this button, which is sponsor the farm. You'll be directed to sign in if you were already signed in. I was not. So you'll be brought to a page here. Then you would select the crop that you are interested in. So as I said, maize 2 is the one that's available currently. Maize 1, in 1 week, we had reached capacity. So maize 2 is what is available currently. You would name your farm. So maybe we want to call this Denta's farm. You'll select the crop schedule. So currently the schedule we have available is the one that's kicking off middle of September. And you'll select your units. Now, Denta says she's got about £100 to spend. So Denta, £100 in cedis is roughly 750 cedis right now, I'll say. So you would select how many units are the equivalent to that. Now, we measure all of our crops by the measurement of a unit. 1 unit is equivalent of 1/8 of an acre. So those people familiar with buying land, you'll notice that 4 plots is equal to an acre. Therefore, 1 unit is equal to half a plot, if that makes sense to those people that are always buying land. But to make it simple for you, 8 units equals an acre. So if you wanted to select an acre, you would pick 8 units and it will do the calculation for you. Denta says she has about £100 to spend. So that will be roughly £750, 750 cedis. So she'll be roughly picking about 7 units for that budget. So what you'll find on the right-hand side, you'll see the various information points that you need to know. You'll see what your profit margin is going to be, so what the range, the minimum, and the upper range would be. You would see that come March, when we have reached harvest and we have sold the products, this is what you would get on the lower side. So the 879 cedis will be your return on the low side. On the upper side, you'll see what your return will be on the high side, so 964 cities. Now, this is where it gets a little bit more interesting. There's a lot of data here, but you can expand it and just to understand the data and the calculations behind those returns a little bit better. There are two main variables when you get involved with this. The first variable is yield. So essentially, the 7 units that we have picked for Denta, how much yield in kilos will that produce? And that is calculated here for you. So the line will show you on the low side how many kilos or how much kilos of maize will be produced for 7 units that she has selected. So on the low side, there'll be 787 kilos produced, and on the high side, 1,050 kilos produced. The second variable as well is the selling price in the market. Now, my boss, Nana, was talking about the 2 ways that we sell. The first way is the open market, and the second way, we're actually registered on the Ghana Commodity Exchange. So if you want to do your due diligence, you'll feel free to go onto the Ghana Commodity Exchange website, type in Grow For Me, and you'll see us there. And what that gives us is access to live data in terms of prices of crops at any one time. Nana was at the GCX earlier this week and saw the live data around, how much it costs for a kilo of maize. So what we do is we always give you a range, what the low side is and what the high side is. There's a little bit of a glitch in the system at the moment, but what you'll find is that for maize, right now, it's approximately between 1.10 1 cedi 10 pesos and 1 cedi 25 pesos. Just assume that these numbers were switched around the other way. But what this does for you is it calculates what your profit would be. So our profit sharing model is based on a pie. So imagine there was a pie. You as a sponsor will get 50% of the profits. The farmer gets 35% of the profits. And we at Grow For Me get 15% of the profits. So everyone is eating, And essentially it breaks it down for you. So it shows you how much, based on the 7 units we picked for Denta, how much on the low side she's likely to get, and how much on the high side she's likely to get in profit. It will also show you how much the farmer will get, because we don't pay our farmers up front. They need to be incentivized to make sure they deliver as well. So we pay them at the end the same way everyone else gets paid, so they split the profits. So the farmer on the low side will get 73 cedis, and on the high side, 133 cedis. And then Grow For Me, us as a company, of course, we are a business. So we need to also get our share, especially because we're managing the process, and that you'll see the very small percentage that we are getting there as well. So this breaks it down for you and then shows you at the end what your return would be. So you get back your principal, essentially what you put in, and you also get back your profits. So on the low side, Denta said that she spent 100, roughly, let's say that was about £100. And on her return, she's likely to get roughly about £130 thereabouts. Bearing in mind, this is 5 months. So those people that are in the UK, I can't speak on behalf of those people outside of the UK. Those people in the UK, if you're aware of ISAs, ISAs are getting you, I don't know, less than 1% right now in a year. We're giving you 13% as a minimum in 5 months, So you can look at it from that perspective, and you're doing good with what you're doing by, job creation and also helping us to close a gap when it comes to security. One more thing before I hand back. We also do offer the chance for people that are interested also in trading crops or using the crops to actually take out the crops as crops. So rather than taking the cash, you've got the option to also take the maize in its raw form. So maybe you've got a friend based in Nigeria and you want to export the maize directly, or maybe you want to buy pineapple and you've got a smoothie bar or something. You just want to receive the pineapple as pineapple. You don't want to see the cash. We have that option for you as well. So that's what we do. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. You can pay for your your farm as you would do with any e-commerce platform. Once the farming has started, you'll come back to your platform and you can see how your farm is progressing. So as I mentioned, I have a shop in Accra called Leona Nails. I named my personal farm after my shop, the Leona Soybean Farm. And what you'll start to see is the progress of that farm over the various stages and life cycle of the period that it's growing. You'll see the life of the land preparation. So that's actually the head of our farming unit, Francis, there, who is one of the co-founders of this company. So you'll see the various work that they've been doing. You will see what it looks like in the planting stage as well. And then my very favorite.
This is brilliant, but go on.
My very, very favorite is my soybeans. Here's my soybeans. So you'll start to see that and how that is growing. The last thing to mention as well, which is really important, is the fact that we partner with Airbus. And Airbus gives us access to their satellites. So you could actually have access to the satellite imagery of the farms. So you actually get to see where the farm's located. You've got real-time data in terms of, the dates. You can go and track back to a month ago and see if anything was done. So you've got access to do that. And very soon you'll also see some drone images. We've just recruited the drone pilots as well. So you'll start to see some drone images here emerge. So again, it's all about transparency. It's all about us building the trust and the reputation in order for you guys to trust us to generate the returns that we have put on the page for you. So yeah, I hope that makes sense.
It makes a lot of sense, and it makes it even more exciting, the fact that you can actually see your product growing in pictures. So that, I mean, and in video, I think it's just makes it so much easier for us in the diaspora to see, because, sometimes there's a trust thing that, how do I know? But, your platform seems to be one that you will see everything that is happening, correct?
Absolutely.
Okay, right. I think I'm going to dive into the questions. Chrissy, if we can have some of the questions up from the top, so we can answer some of the questions, and then I'll finish off with my questions as well. But I think very informative, well done. This should be done for all of Africa. Very easy for the diaspora to invest, by Ray. Are you looking for farms as well? So someone just asked, are you looking for people that also have farms that may need that investment as well? Is it something that you're doing?
Yes. First of all, amazing walkthrough, Lauren. I love it when you make me feel like I'm even a customer of my own product. So great presentation there. Yes. So we are always onboarding farmers, and our farmer onboarding process is quite intense. On average, the farmer should have spent at least 3 years growing that particular crop in a particular area, so that he's familiar with the climate activities, the terrain, and the seed, and the nature of the seed, and the frequency and the patterns of applying fertilizer and water. So what that does is that it gives us a high level of certainty of success for that farm. But first of all, before we even pick an area to sponsor those group of farmers or community of farmers, we, through the Ministry of Food and Agriculture, identify areas that have the most successful outputs, so that those areas can actually receive funding to produce more by giving them superior seed, giving them doing a lot of the mechanization activities, funding that, and giving them fertilizer and pesticides. So yes, we are always onboarding farmers, and if you have good success and history and experience, the likelihood of you being part of our sponsored farmers is great. But I must say that it's the people we often want to invest in are those in groups, cooperatives, and in communities. We do have exceptions for people we call lead farmers. So lead farmers tend to have 10 acres plus and have been doing it by themselves. In those cases, we will deal with you as an individual farmer. But typically, we like to invest in smallholder farmers. And I just want to chip in a very few critical data points here. See, more than 60% of the population of sub-Saharan Africa are smallholder farmers, and 23% of sub-Saharan Africa's GDP comes from agriculture. And if you may know, we have the potential to produce 20% more of the CR grains in the current world 2.6 billion tonnage that is being produced. So like someone would say, West Africa in particular, even though our business is actually designed for the entire sub-Saharan Africa, has the potential of feeding just even the continent and more. So for us, the next phase of our business is really to make this, to someone's point, available to all smallholder and large farmers across the continent by scaling our technology. So back to you, Denzel.
This is just fantastic. I mean, my audience, everyone's like, I want to be a farmer now. I want to be a farmer. Everybody's going, I want to be a farmer. I think it is a fantastic platform. So let's go to the first question. What is the minimum amount of money to invest in Grow for Me?
Okay, I guess I'll take the question. So the minimum, when you go on the website, you would see what the cost per unit for each of our crops are. So at the moment, the cheapest or cost-effective unit is about 100 cedis. So 100 cedis, roughly £15 or $18, roughly. So that's the price of maize. If you want pineapple, however, pineapple is quite a little bit more costly. We're looking at 2,300 cedis for a unit of pineapple. So the information is all there on the website. Depending on which crop you pick, we'll show you the minimum price. You can invest as low as 1 unit. Or if you say, got thousands and millions of dollars here today, we'll also take that. So, the option is there for you.
Fantastic. And can you just mention, I know you mentioned a few, but how many different crops do you have on your platform?
So we currently have maize, pineapple available as of today. So if anyone wanted to go on our site and invest today, that is available. We are the site, and you have to bear in mind that this is agriculture, right? And as Nana was speaking about the various seasons and cycles, it's very important that we farm at the right time. Whether it's rainy season, whatever, we need to obviously bear in mind the various climate parameters. So the upcoming cycles we have, or the upcoming crops we have is pepper. We have cabbage coming up as well, and very soon we'll be doing additional crops like sorghum, rice, and so on and so forth. So just keep an eye on the website, and you'll see the various crops available.
Okay, fantastic. What are the risks? What about crop failure? How is this covered?
Okay. Sorry, yes. Unless you want to speak, Lorraine, that's cool. Okay. So, first of all, we insure every single farm that we have. So, the company that provides this insurance called Well Cover, you can check them out, and that insures every single farm that is being, producing the crops, whether it's maize or whatever. The second thing is there are 3 layers of monitoring a farm. The first being our remote satellite imagery from App42. That's Airbus, because it's a subsidiary basically, and that gives us opportunity to look at the farm from a satellite view, and it provides us such depth of information like how healthy are the crops, what's the amount of water in the crop, and for that particular process, we are using 2 companies to provide satellite monitoring and analysis of the farm. That's number 1. What does that mean? It means if the farm is not doing too well, you can quickly and proactively get that information through your satellite images and advise or instruct the farmer to do EX, maybe put more water or more fertilizer or whatever must be done. Number 2 is our own on-field inspectors who continually visit the farms to see how it's being performed. And these are often very successful farmers at that particular crop so that they can provide support and guidance. And remember, I said that if you're in a community of farmers, we prefer to sponsor you more because then the power of the community ensures that everybody succeeds. Mm-hmm. Then the third layer is through the countries, in this case, let's say Ghana, Ministry of Food and Agriculture's extension officers. So a couple of them are tasked to provide, in addition to already existing services that the government provides to all, deeper supervision and extension services to the farmers. So this ensures that you have continuous supervision and the farmer is getting the best of advice, both from the extension officer, both from our platforms and our in-house agronomists, and finally from the community and the experts and the successful ones within the community. The last thing, of course, which I've already said, is crop insurance that ensures that each, in the worst case, the crops are insured.
Fantastic. Nana, can you take the question that's on the screen now?
Yes. Absolutely. Can you plow back your profit and yield in compound interest on it? Laureen, back to you on this.
I mean, we all understand, or we should understand, the power of compound interest, you know, the most powerful financial instrument in the world. So we definitely have the option for you. The moment the cycle finishes, you're more than welcome to invest that back. Rather than taking out the profits or taking out the amount, you're welcome to plow that back in straight away to reinvest in the next cycle. So that option is there for you. And we're big believers, you know, making your money work for you. So keep the interest in and let that grow. That's totally up to you. Or equally as, you know, acceptable, you can just take the money out and do that. I think there's,
Yeah, there's another question.
So what if us, Grow For Me, and Laureen, that's just to put the question in context, use the money for other purpose and there's no profit or there's a loss? Who is responsible? I think the question is what happens. So first of all, Grow For Me is registered under the Ghana Commodity Exchange as a commodity broker. That means by default, we are directly under SEC, Security and Exchange Commission. And there's the same model, whether you are in Ghana or US or Nigeria, you're going to be under the Securities and Exchange Commission. That ensures that you use your money for only the things that are designed or you registered or designed it for, which is agriculture, trading commodities and farming, full stop. But just to make sure I give you much more context so that you don't take my word, we have a board of very experienced people. I mean, Professor Bani, our board chair, is 25 years plus experience in post-harvest losses. And he comes with his experience, his integrity, and his name to chair a company like this. You have Professor Irene, who has 25 plus years experience in agribusiness and understands the value chain across the country, and of course done a lot of work on the continent. So the company is really run by a secure and tight board. So you have the SEC, the board, and ourselves that ensuring that your money is used exactly for what it is. Laureen can get up and use the money for what they think it is. And I know in Ghana we've had history and experience in that in the past, but this is pretty different. And the people here have so much to lose if things go bad that they will not want to take that risk. So that's to that question. Is this organic, non-GMO farming, including for soybean? So far, all our farms have been organic-based. They've not been any GMO-based farming. And once again, we try to focus on what's very available in that particular area because you don't want to change the ecological makeup of the area by introducing seeds that are not too friendly and hence increase the risk. You want to do something that the people have been doing and they are very predictable about the outcome of the farm. Okay. But thank you, Papa Joe's, for that question. Will you be exporting some of the crops and do you have plans of processing crops yourself? Example, 10 pineapple into pineapple juice. Nanek, excellent question. I'll speak briefly to it and I'll let Laureen speak. So Grow For Me is a crowdfunding, a farming and a trading platform, okay? So what we do is to farm, raise funds, farm, and then trade. Now, what we make sure we always have off-takers. So off-takers are like, to your example, a processing company like maybe Blue Skies or MPH or whatever, and these guys are in constant need of the commodity. So we supply off-takers so that you can quickly convert that pineapple into cash and your profit so that Nana can be paid back. So Grow For Me itself will not build, a pineapple processing factory, but Grow For Me very soon will be able to raise funds for someone who wants to build a pineapple process factory to build and then take the pineapple and process. But do you need a Ghana bank account to get your returns? Absolutely not. Remember, we are a platform that is designed to allow anybody across the world to farm. So you do not need a Ghana bank account. So yes, what is the accountability? In other words, is there someone to verify crop production and crop sales? Absolutely, yes. So first of all, as we speak, you will have visibility on your farms on the platform. And in addition, you also have transparency in terms of the platform and the price point range that are there. In future, what we'll be doing is that we plan to build our platform on blockchain technology so that you have things like smart contracts that triggers payments and the contracts once a sale is done. So everything becomes very transparent for you. Lauren, I think you want to take back these questions and take these questions at this point.
Sure. Okay. So the question is from Josie. Hi, Josie. Is the principal guaranteed regardless of the harvest conditions? So as Nana mentioned earlier, we do have crop insurance, and that insurance, in the worst case scenario, and there's a flood or something like that, the principal is guaranteed. So the worst case scenario, that principal will come back to you. After the first investments are the returns monthly. The returns will be at the end of the cycle. So, for instance, pineapple takes 14 to 15 months. So you invest on day one, you will get your returns back plus 2 to 3 weeks after the harvest period. Currency exposure, very, very, very good question. I get this question at least no less than 5 times a day. So we want to be very clear that obviously we are a company that has a lot of investment from international people. Currency exposure is always going to be something that we cannot control as a business. But the beauty of what we're doing, in fact, I think there was an announcement made today that Ghana is actually one of the top currencies in Africa when it comes to how stable it is. So there's anywhere you want to put your money, we are within the top 5 countries in Africa in terms of currency and its stability. So, you know, for us, what we do or what we offer is, you know, short cycle opportunities, which means that your FX exposure is not as great as it may be for doing something very long term. You know, so we do know, for instance, at the beginning of the year, the pound to the cedi was around 7.2. Currently today, it's around 7.6, for instance, right? So we are, but for us, that's why we have things like maize, which is available for short cycles, because that way you won't be exposed too much to the fluctuations in the currency. That's the first thing that we do. The second thing is what I've just said to you about the fact that Ghana, if there's anywhere to put your money in terms of currency, Ghana is top 5 in Africa, and that was announced today. The third thing to also mention as well is the fact that you know, we are also looking at ways and means to potentially put your returns back onto like an online wallet or a virtual wallet, so we don't lose out on some of the transaction costs and currency FX exposure there as well. And just because we know we have a lot of people, I mean, we've got people that invested from Dubai this morning, you know, we've got people from America, people from the US, etc. So there's always going to be currency exposure. But what we do as much as possible is to make sure the returns are good enough to make it worthwhile. You know, I saw some comments around people who have money in ISA. That is less than 1%. We are offering you minimum, you know, 13%. Now, if there is some FX exposure to that and it drops down ever so slightly, you will still get more. You know, but we do want to be transparent that FX exposure is something, but you need to bear in mind there are short cycles available to you. Ghana is a very stable country in comparison to other countries in Africa, and then also the fact that you know, we're given pretty decent returns as well. Do you have to register with a company or pay tax on what you earn if you're in the UK? You know, as any UK, and I'm not a tax advisor, so I can't give you that, but I think everyone in the UK knows that you do have to declare your income on any profits that you make. So I will let you speak to your tax advisor about that one. But you are, I mean, it's an investment, as you would declare profits in your investment account, is the same way that you might have to declare profits here. Does that mean you can use your PayPal account? Currently, we take payment with international bank cards or a local bank card or a direct money transfer or mobile money. That's what we do at the moment. So if you've got PayPal, feel free to deposit that into your bank account and then send it over to us. We will start to look into PayPal, but PayPal is not available in Ghana at the moment. That's the reason why we don't have PayPal. Do we have sites in and plans to operate in East Africa? We are definitely going to be expanding into other regions in Africa, so do stay tuned, and hopefully you'll see that soon. How do you pay back the profits into a UK bank account? We do it as a direct deposit. So it'll be when you signed up to the account and you created the farm, we will also ask you for where you would like your returns to go. So you will then put in that information. But as I said, we're also looking at ways and means to have a virtual card. So almost like an online wallet that you would have your 16-digit card number, your CVV number, etc., and you'll spend that online. So that option, we're looking at that option because of the whole currency, the FX exposure around. That's why we're looking at that option. But currently today, it'll be a direct bank transfer. I have a Gary business because are you able to? Okay, Nana, I think you can take this question if you would like to take this.
So Gary is made out of cassava, and cassava has quite a big market. So I think your question is, would you be able to sponsor cassava farms and probably either harvest as crop? And the question is, yes, once cassava is listed as one of the crops that you can sponsor. So just keep a very keen eye on our crops that we list, and you can quickly sponsor cassava if that's what you need to make your Gary.
I'll take this question.
But let Lorraine speak to it.
So if anyone wants to join the referral program, please feel free to email me at lorraine@growforme.com. There is a referral program. Everyone is just so on it. It's been absolutely incredible, for this. But we would like to reward people, of course, if they do refer people. So feel free to reach out to me. My email is lorraine@growforme.com. And then we can talk about the options there. But yes, we do have a referral program. Are we registered with a regulator? I saw this question before. Nana did address this question before. Very clearly, we are a registered broker on the Ghana Commodity Exchange. Feel free to go to the Ghana Commodity Exchange website and search Grow for Me. Grow for Me, the Ghana Commodity Exchange is overseen by the Security and Exchange Commission. So the oversight and monitoring is actually from the Security and Exchange Commission. Do my returns have to be deposited in my US bank account? No is the answer, but it can be. Now, a lot of people that I have been speaking to are also people that are returnees and people keen to move back to Ghana. So what I do advise in those times are, start looking at how you build up your cities in Ghana. So you've got an option to maybe open up a bank account in Ghana and have your returns there. But if you don't want that, we can also do a direct deposit back to your US bank account. Will the sponsor actually own the farm, the land? No. To be clear, this is that's why we have to be very clear about the distinction of investment and sponsorship. Investment is where you're buying an asset, right? And sponsorship is you're sponsoring, we are sponsoring the expansion of farmers who have the ownership of those lands. So we are partnering with the farmers in order to expand their land so that at the end of the day, we all generate a profit from that.
Okay, right. So I think a lot of people. Did you do the Cash App one? So Cash App.
Yeah. So you basically any other app, whether it's Cash App, whether it is PayPal, you put it in your card to use those apps. So we do not receive payments through those apps. You can use your card to make payments on Grow for Me, and it's 3D secure enabled, and it's secure and it's safe. And the bank at the back is, you would know it at Barclays in London, but it's actually called ABSA. So it's safe, and you can use your debit card or your credit card to make payments. So we support a number of cards: Visa, MasterCard, JCB, Amex, Union. You can use any of them.
Okay, fantastic. Lorraine, I just need you. I know you've done the presentation already, but there's a few people that have just joined and want to know exactly what Grow for Me is all about. So we just have to repeat ourselves because the numbers have gone up. They're just shot up. So there's a few people that have about 30 or 40 people that have just joined us. So let's talk about Grow for Me, how people can get involved, what type of crops that you have, the investment that you can put in, etc.
Absolutely. So Grow for Me essentially is a web-based agriculture crowd farming and crowdfunding platform. And the whole intention, the whole idea about it is to enable anyone to farm, without getting your hands dirty. You could be in London, you could be in Toronto, you can be in Dubai, you can be in South Africa, wherever in the world you are, and gives you the opportunity to get involved in agriculture without getting your hands dirty. And one of the things I was explaining to people very early on is I am actually a customer. I came on board to Grow for Me as a customer first and foremost, and I really believed in the vision. And lo and behold, I'm here working on the team. But a lot of what we do as well is deep rooted in some of the UN Sustainable Development Goals. We are all about how do we also solve some of the challenges that exist when it comes to food security and when it comes to also making food accessible and affordable for everyone. And we do that by partnering with smallholder farmers to enable them to expand their farms so they're able to grow certain crops. And the crops that we have at the moment are high demand crops, which include maize, soybean, pineapple, cabbage, pepper, and soon we're going to be doing sorghum. Sorghum is the grain that is found in drinks like Malta Guinness or Guinness. And we're still going to be doing rice as well. So, you know, we're expanding as we go on. But essentially, you've got the chance to go onto our web-based platform. You can pick a crop that you'd like to invest in. On the website, it will show you the duration in terms of how long it takes for a crop to harvest. If we take maize, for instance, maize takes 5 months, and we're about to kick off the farming cycle for maize. So my strong recommendation for anyone that wants to like just try us out is to go with maize. Why? Because maize, A, has a very short cycle, so 5 months, and B, because it's got a low investment amount. So the low is low entry price entry. That is the equivalent of about 100 cedis, which is roughly £15 or $18 or so thereabouts. Please do go and check in Google for me. But you can buy as low as 1 unit. All of our crops are measured. The measurement we use is a unit, and 1 unit is equivalent of 1/8 of an acre. So if you would like an acre of crop, you will pick 8 units. So the site is very intuitive. You can go on there, you can select how many units you want. It will show you the return that you are likely to get. Now, one thing I was saying earlier is that we cannot guarantee an exact return, but what we can offer is a range. So we offer you the minimum of what you're expecting to get and the maximum. So roughly for now, for maize, you're looking to get between 13% return on your sponsorship up to 25%. Now, to be clear, there are 2 main variables in that. The first variable is the yield, to how much is produced of the units that you've picked. And the second one is based on the price. Now, how do we control this? Is by the various processes and mechanisms that we put in place as a company to make sure we minimize risks as much as possible. The first thing we do is we're registered, as I said, on the Ghana Commodity Exchange. So we have access to live prices. So there's transparency there. You can go and ask anyone today and ask them what the price of maize is per kilo. And I'm pretty certain that you will see something that will be within the range that we put on our website. The second thing when it comes to yield is we actually triangulate data from various different sources. We have satellite images from Airbus. We are partnering with a company called Deep Planet and some other companies that help us when it comes to yield prediction. So it enables us to understand how much yield are we producing from the crops that we are growing. It also helps us to understand the soil moisture, the climate parameters involved in that area. So essentially all of this, long story short, Growth For Me is essentially offering someone that maybe is got a little bit of disposable income, so some money spare. Maybe someone said earlier they've saved some money during lockdown. You know, even if it's as small as £17 or 100 cedis, you can invest that amount. Or if you've got thousands or millions, you can also invest that amount, and we would happily take that for you and grow on your behalf. But essentially, it's giving people that have that chance to just, you know, let their money work for them and not have to, you know, be a passive investor, you know, and we will do the active work for you, and we will get our hands dirty for you. But on the flip side, conscious that are looking for ways to help society to close the gap when it comes to social impact and social and food security. So yeah, I hope that is a bit of a long-winded recap, but I hope that covers all of it.
Yeah, Lorraine, and I think I just want to add something to it. It's amazing you summarized it so well. I want to talk about the active investors, those who really want to, you know, put in a lot of money into agriculture. Say you have a $50,000, £50,000, you want to start real farming. This is an amazing part because you get the chance to work with a lot of farmers. So if you were putting 50,000, and I'm just going to create a scenario for you, in just one farm, your risk levels are very high. But if you're putting 50,000 as a farmer into, say, 100 farmers growing the same crop, say soybean, your risk levels are way lower. So if you're an active investor who wants to bring in significant amount of money, I would argue that this would be the right channel you want to put your money into agriculture. Secondly, if you're a trader who often buys commodities and use it for something else, you have the chance to now directly put money into your crop production at the farm. You don't have to go to the middleman to buy, but you can now literally farm the commodities that you want to trade. So for those guys with big bucks who want to work with it, this is a great opportunity to do that.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah, there was a question I want to just address.
Yeah, there's a question.
Yeah, I want to just address it. I think we've addressed it a few times, but it's an absolutely fundamental question. And me as a customer, when I came aboard, I asked this question. The question is about regulation. So just to be, and I'm sure everyone, if you've got your phones with you or you're on your website, please do visit Ghana Commodity Exchange website. Ghana Commodity Exchange are the regulators when it comes to buying and trading commodities. They are regulated and overseen by the Security and Exchange Commission. So you can feel free to go to their website. You can check their website, and you'll find the brokers that are licensed. Search for Grow For Me, and you'll see us come up. So that's just so you know that we make sure we've also done our work with making sure that we are regulated and there's oversight of what we do. So I just want to be very transparent and clear about that.
Okay, we're just going to go through a cycle of questions as well again. So if you can answer the questions on the screen.
Is there a separate contract, or is the contract built into individual purchases? Good question. When you're on board as a sponsor, there is one contract that you would sign for the crop that you are purchasing. So when you then do another cycle, then you're required to then sign that new contract, just so you're aware. Is there a reason why you sell per unit rather than acre? Also a very good question. I think for us, we want to make sure that the barriers for someone investing is low. So it gives anyone the chance to purchase a unit. But as my colleague has mentioned, if you want to buy many acres or 50,000, that option is there for you as well. But this is really to make, we're all about allowing anyone to farm. And by doing it as a unit enables that. Do you charge fees or other fee charges? Included in our, when you buy a unit, included in the prices, and we make it very transparent on our website, you will see a line item for service charge. Now, service charge, like any company, is to enable us to cover certain costs. That includes what Nana has mentioned, the supervision of the farmers, the extension officers that we have. We have a drone pilot that goes and takes images and pictures of your land. So that really is about covering the costs, the bare minimum costs, for us to make sure that we minimize any risks or the risks that are around this. So I hope that answers the question.
It sure has. Nana, I want to ask you, why do you think it's important for people to start looking in and investing in agriculture?
Okay, so, the richest people now are tech entrepreneurs, right? But in future, the richest people are going to be farmers. And I'm going to show you why. There's a lot of challenge around the climate. The things that people are going to worry and fight over is going to be food and water. And the ability to produce the most basic necessity, if you ever heard of Maslow's theories of need, what is the first thing everybody wants and needs? Food and then water. And when you look at what's happening around, the most suited environment and area for crop production is actually West Africa. So you have a unique opportunity to be part of something that is not only going to create you wealth, but it's also going to create impact. It has a ripple effect. A rippling effect that when you sponsor a farm, 1, you're creating more jobs, 2, you're producing more food, and 3, you are creating more wealth because you make a profit. So why should anyone do this? I think it's a unique opportunity for you to make great wealth for yourself and also to make great impact. And if nothing at all, to be a citizen of this world that impacts thousands of people wherever they may be. So that is really why you would want to do it. I just want to speak to the future and the opportunity it presents. So in future, we're going to have the opportunity to actually do equity investments, and it's not now. When I say equity investments, there's a third component of the agricultural value chain that has to do with infrastructure and assets. So for example, there's a need for a rice processing plant that could process and take advantage of a $1 billion opportunity of rice importation. So you would want to probably be part of those who own a stake in the rice processing plant. And thanks to our platform, we'll be able to break it down such that there's a very low barrier of entry to own a portion of that equity. It's not yet started, but the impact of doing infrastructure is that then you add more value to the commodities you produce, and the value creation becomes bigger. For a case in point, the cocoa industry, $1 billion industry. But Africa, which produces all the cocoa, makes just about 2% of that market opportunity. So there's going to be the need for future infrastructure development. And once again, my team and I strongly believe that as Africans, and also anyone in the world who believes in Africa, is more than capable of making this happen by ourselves, by our funds, and democratizing the money or the investments need to develop any agriculture industry on the continent. So if anything you're thinking about today or tomorrow, I've given you 2 solid reasons to be part of this opportunity.
Okay. Is it Ghanaian owned business, and what are some of the clients that you may have currently, and where are they from?
Okay, Lorraine would speak to the client. I'll speak to the ownership. Yes, Grow for Me is Ghanaian owned, but it's actually now we've started getting quite a number of VCs investing into the company. So the core ownership is still Ghanaian based, but there's a lot of opportunities as we are fundraising on the side into the company. So we have some VCs who have already started investing because they've seen the opportunity and the potential to grow this exponentially. However, most of the shareholders are Ghanaian.
Fantastic. That's good to know. Lorraine, can you answer the other question for me, please?
Client-wise, I spend my day speaking to people across the world. As I said this morning, a guy from Dubai became a customer. Yesterday we had people from Toronto. We've got, it's literally all over the place. A lot of my network are people in the UK as well. So you could be literally anywhere, East Africa, South Africa, Australia. This is really for anyone that just wants to generate additional income. Or wants to diversify the investment portfolio. So there's no restrictions in terms of, there's no sanctioned countries either, but there's no restrictions in terms of where you would like to invest from. This question that I see on the page comes up all the time. I speak to people, and I think, to give you some context, one of the reasons why this business came about is exactly this issue. The fact that there's so much underused farmland in Ghana. When Nana and the co-founders were doing their bike ride across to Nigeria, they saw all of this vast land and they were like, what are we doing with it? So Teresa, to answer your question, if you've got big farmland, one of the main things for us is that we manage our risks by ensuring that we work with farmers who have grown crops in that particular farm, in that land, in that climate for a minimum of 3 years. So we can more than happy to have a conversation with you and understand what farmers or farmland you've got, but we do need to have evidence of what's been grown in that farmland for the last 3 years. But feel free to drop me an email. My email is lorraine@growforme.com, and we can take it from there.
Fantastic. So, number-wise, how many clients do you have? That's someone just asked me a question. How many people are on the platform?
No, you take the question.
Yes, sure. So we have over between 150 to 100 plus of customers who raised a total of close to 30,000 USD within a very short time. And it's going exponentially. So we're excited about the fact that it's going and we are raising funds to transform lives and grow more crops.
Okay, fantastic. I want to talk a bit more about the risk margins involved in such an investment. Can we talk about the risks?
Yes, absolutely. So if you take any farm, okay, you have a number of risks on the farm itself. And the risk you may have on a farm could be, first, the soil, and I'm going to get a bit technical here, for the particular crop you're growing. Next could be the climate, that's the elements, rain, water, stuff like that. Third could be the farm practices itself, that could create risk. So what are you doing? What are your agricultural practices? So these technical risks is what exists on a farm. Other things that may impact it, which technically has not, but has always been on the positive side, is legislation or government or economy. So if you have a country that should get into war, you find that most war-torn countries, people are hungry and need food because then you cannot farm. So the risk to agriculture are a lot. Unlike technology that sits in the cloud and you can always have, and mind you, I'm a serial tech entrepreneur, build platforms that run on the internet, you are not exposed to such kind of risk. However, the impact of what we've built is that we have both technology and working with farmers on the ground. Think of it as Uber. So Uber has a technology and works with drivers who have cars. So we have a technology and work with farmers who own farms and make sure we can give them the best of advice in terms of production and bring them ready markets, just like Uber will bring you someone who wants to quickly go onto a car and move around. So we bring you farmers or sponsors who want to farm with their money and enable the farmer to farm with them together or take the ride of farming together. So these are the risks, but the potential and the opportunities far outweigh the risk. If we do not have food, it does not matter what the risk is. People would kill over food if it becomes scarce. So yes, there are risks, but the risk is nowhere compared to when there's no food and water.
Okay, fantastic. I just want to say to my viewers, make sure that you are sharing your pages. Nana Mankwa, make sure you share your page. Alice, Ali, Eben, make sure you are sharing your pages so that people can hear this good news. I've brought you guys good news. And so, we need to make sure that we share this information. So we've got our next question from Manny. Lorraine, can you answer that?
Yes, so you can roll over the funds. As I was saying earlier, I think it's very important as individuals, we learn or we know about the power of compound interest. So you are very welcome to allow your funds to roll over. So when you invest in a cycle, rather than taking the money out, you can let that roll over as well. The farm locations, I think there was a question on locations. All of the locations for the farms are listed on the website. So when you look on a particular crop, it will show you the location of where the farm is. I know Eben, and I know why he's asking this question, so I'm not going to answer it because he's doing this intentionally.
I want to speak to something maybe when you're done, Laurie.
Go for it.
Yeah. So, cashew is a tree crop and it presents an amazing opportunity. So we can look at that later on, but I want to really speak about when you look into the agriculture space, what would really contribute to large production of cereals. And mind you, cereals are one of the most consumed crops on the continent. So one of the things that is basically land expansion, which is going to give you just about 70% of improvement on crop production. And so literally by enabling the farmer to expand his lands, is going to contribute like 70% of crop increase. Then you have using improved seed, okay, which will also contribute to that. Then you have post-harvest loss reduction. I want to speak to post-harvest loss reduction. So what happens is that you may have heard that a lot of crops go waste in the field, right? So what we have done, by virtue of one being commodity traders and finance and fundraisers, makes it possible that we can quickly get a lot of people who need those commodities to buy it quickly, because we have a platform that allows people who need crops to come and a platform that has people who wants to farm them to farm. So it presents a very unique opportunity in the industry, not just in Ghana, but across the continent. I must say we are starting in Ghana, but that it's just a starting point. You know, every great thing starts from Ghana in Africa. Independence started from Ghana. So it's starting from Ghana, but it's going to scale up. Santa, you're muted. Okay.
Sorry, I'm talking and I've muted. Thank you so much, Nana. Lorraine, can you take this question?
Yeah. So do we work only with farmers who own their own lands? So there are two types. People may own, and I think Nana addressed this earlier on. To be very clear, with the verification and due diligence that we do with farmers, we tend to work, or we prefer working with farmers that are within a cooperative, because that offers some form of accountability. But we also look at whether or not, so some farmers own their land by virtue of paying for it, and some farmers own their land through family, of course, and then some farmers may use land on a lease basis. But whenever we do our verification checks, we obviously check the papers, and especially when they're in a cooperative, that gives us more comfort that there's accountability there as well.
Fantastic. I'm just going to go over the investment, the initial investment. What is the starting capital? Can you take 10 Ghana Cedi? Like, what is the minimum, money that,
The enter is 50,000. For everyone else on the line, for everyone else, it's about 100 cedis, 110 cedis, which is roughly £15. I can't remember what the rate is today. £15 or $18 or $19.
Okay.
So that's minimum for maize. Soybean was roughly around the same, and pineapple is about 2,300 cedis, which is roughly £300 thereabouts. But yeah, I think for anyone that's coming on board today, I do highly recommend. I'm not sure if Nana wants me to say this because obviously pineapple is of a higher margin, but maize, I do strongly recommend coming in and trying maize because it's a low entry point. It takes 5 months to get, to harvest. You can see your returns by March, so I think it's just, and if you've got, yeah, it's a good opportunity to do that.
Fantastic. And what documentation do you need from us? So, I know that you said we go online, we can register. Is there any documentations, any proofs or anything that, we have to give to you?
Good question. So when you're onboarded, you're taken through a process. You'll be onboarded with your data, so your name, address. We ask for ID as well, and there's a contract that you're required to sign. So do feel free to read that contract. That would outline all of the terms and conditions of the engagement. You sign that, and then it's as simple as that. But the user experience is very seamless, very quick. Where you can be onboarded within, the space of 5 minutes. So it's very, very quick.
Fabulous. And I've also got Frederick Cobby. I'm going to put you on in a second, but let's just take this question. Why are some crops more expensive than others to invest?
Boss, you take that question.
Okay. So it's quite simple. So think of it this way. If you're on an Uber app, right, you could take an Uber X or you can take an Uber exclusive, like very high-end Uber car, right? And Uber connects you to that and you hop on in. At the end, you're still going to get to your journey. So yes, it's all food that you can eat, whether it's maize or it's soya or it's pineapple. But the amount of work that must go into maize is not the same amount of work that must go into pineapple. The amount of work that goes into pineapple is much more. You require a lot of things before the pineapple, and it takes a longer time for the pineapple to be produced, right? So when you calculate the cost of production of that particular crop, add up all the other things like insurance, monitoring, and so on and so forth, you have different costs to produce an acre. And if you divide that acre or football field into 8, which is 1 unit, they will not be the same. So in simple terms, it requires more effort to produce a particular crop than the other. And it's interesting that the crops that are a bit more difficult to produce tend to yield the highest and sometimes take a bit longer.
Okay, fantastic. There is another question. Okay, go ahead.
Nana?
Yes, how do we have to have proof of investment and that farmers are giving what is due? Would your organization verify for investors So yes, it's quite simple. You know, the beautiful thing about the work we do is you can always come along and be part of the journey. An open trip is being organized. The time will be slated soon, so you can be part of the journey and you can get to interact with the farmers and ask them some of these, you know, wonderful questions. But what we've done once again is to calculate and work the cost of producing that acre and making sure that the farmer is able to produce, and we buy or trade a commodity and make a profit on it for you. So yes, we have proof of that, and the farmers are giving what is due. And yes, you can check up on that. After harvest, can we reinvest again? Lorraine.
Yes, my favorite question. My favorite question, because again, I want to repeat this. We, as if we're Ghanaians or we're, you know, whoever we are as human beings, we should understand the power of compound interest. Very powerful, you know. So yes, when you harvest, you can opt not to take your money out and reinvest it, so your profits essentially are working for you. That option is there, but equally, okay, you can take it out and use that for other initiatives that you've got. So yeah.
You know what, Lauren? It's quite interesting that with $18, that would be like going to a McDonald's or you know, going to like some Segway or something just to blow that money. You literally could have that produce more than you could eat. I mean, come to think of it. So Desmond is saying that, hi Nana, hi Desmond. So Desmond was a colleague back in school, and if I'm right, this is Dr. Desmond, if I'm right. How often do sponsors get updates on the performance on the farm that they are sponsoring? So, and primarily the updates are on the platform that Lauren walked you through. You could see the different stages, and you can see that a crop that takes 5 months, if I show you a picture on the first week and the second week, there's really not much to see, right? But if I show you the picture between the first week and then the third week, then you can see some significant growth. Notwithstanding, we have, yes, on the crop growth, planting, it's literally meant planting seeds, you can see anything. But then, when after a month or two, you can see really things happening. So notwithstanding, we also have a group, a Telegram group where you can be part of, and in there, what we do, we make posts. I mean, when things in the industry is happening, we put it there, and you can have a conversation and connect. Okay, so yes, the updates come as and when there's significant change in the crop, and then you can see it.
Chrissy, can you put on the next question?
See so many questions. Wow.
That's great.
Wow. Okay, maybe you want me to take this one? So roughly what percentage could you earn on the investment? So for Grow For Me, with the various crops that we have, they would range from 5% up to about 30%. But depending on the crop that you pick, it will show you the range. So when you click onto so maize, for example, the range is roughly between 13% up to 25%. You know, but as a company, we're looking at between 5% to 30%, depending on the crop that you pick. What's the service? When the service fee is 10% and the return, so your service fee is included in what you've paid. So it's absorbed in, so your return on sponsorship is on top of that. So your service fee is already included into your amount, and your return on service, your return on sponsorship is on the amount that you've paid. That's to address Tobias's question. Hey, George. Yes, we will talk. We will talk.
Absolutely.
We will talk.
Absolutely.
Okay, fantastic. Before we go back to Nana and Lorraine, I have Kobe, who is the co-founder of Akomfi, right? Farms.
Ekonfi, I'm the director of operations.
Ekonfi, right there, Ekonfi. You know, they have, you know, they've got some I actually went to the farm a few weeks ago to interview him, and it's absolutely amazing to see, you know, this big plantation of pineapple, sweet pineapple. The pineapple is the best pineapple I've ever tasted in my life. And you know, guys, as you know, what do you say, Kobe?
Hi, Deta. Good evening, and good evening to co-panelists and everybody listening to us. How are you?
Fantastic.
Good.
Thank you so much for joining me on the show. Now, obviously, on my show, I try to bring the diaspora opportunities. I try to educate, I try to inspire, and I try to get them to understand the opportunities that is within Ghana right here. And so I've heard from Grow For Me. You guys also have a product that you do as well. Can you tell us a bit about your product?
Right. So what we're doing now, you see the capacity of a kufi is such that we need so much pineapples. And so we are inviting investment in pineapples. So we have this arrangement with Crop Estate where people can invest in pineapple farms. Crop Estate is doing much more than just pineapples. They are into avocado, into coconut, etc. But at least for this purpose, we speak on pineapples. So it is said that if you invest in Crop Estate, you are given a plot of land on which pineapple is cultivated by another company, also in league with whatever we're doing, such that you are given guaranteed yield. And this is insured by the Ghana Agriculture Insurance Pool called GAIB. So your returns promised or pledged in this arrangement is guaranteed. You happen to be the first person to be paid, so you are the first payee, and if there's any loss, you are going to be the last person to lose. But there's a guarantee and etc. So I'm sure as we move along, I can explain some more.
So basically, it's 50% of returns on your investment.
Sure. For pineapple, it varies and depends on which crop you'll be investing in. For pineapples, yes, we are doing around 50%.
Okay, and what other crops can you invest in?
Right. So there are long-term crops. Pineapple is because it takes 12 to 14 months to grow, and then you are doing cycles of maybe between 3 to 5 cycles. We call it's about a medium, the medium term. There are short-term crops like tiger nuts and sweet potatoes. There are equally long-term crops like coconut and avocado.
Okay, and avocado as well.
Sure.
Okay, so how do the diaspora get involved? So this is your flyer that I'm putting up at the moment. If you can just walk us through.
This is for pineapple, and then the good thing about this this Crop Estate arrangement is that there's already a guaranteed buyer. So it's not like you're going into farming and you have to think about who's going to buy what. It's guaranteed. So for pineapple, for example, Crop Estate has an arrangement with my company, Ekufi Fruits and Juices Limited, which will off-take this. So I mean, it makes it more secure. So this flyer you are showing me is for pineapple. There are other flyers that show the other crops, their returns on the investment, and then the off-takers are.
Kobe, can you speak a bit louder? Your volume is quite low.
Okay, let me try an adjustment here and see. Is it okay now?
Yes, a little better. So can you go through that? So basically, the person will own the land. Is that what you're saying?
Okay, yes. So so it goes like it's like a sublease, right? So for the period of the investment, you would have an interest in the land. So you'll be given a sublease on that particular portion of land. And these are land that is pointed, so it cannot be given to another person. So you hold title or interest in that land for as long as that investment runs.
Wow. Okay.
Another one of the guarantees that we have. So I mean, land doesn't move. So I mean, you have title to, if you do a 5-year investment, for the whole of the 5 years, the land belongs to you, and it's being cropped for you.
Okay, so I just want to get an understanding. So, with the grow for me, you are investing in farmers, right?
So with the grow for me, investing in the crop, and the farmer who is producing that crop. And we were just 2 days ago, I was in the office of Crop Estate, and Crop Estate would be, to grow for me, an onboarded farmer that offtakes our funds and produces pineapple. So whether it's a Crop Estate or it's a Kumfi farm or it's a Blue Skies, any of these producing companies offtake from us, or any of these farmers we would fund to grow. So I was talking to Emmanuel, and we had a great conversation. And I think I might just say, we are just about to, signing a very wonderful relationship deal where, as we raise funds, one of the diversified off-takers or farmers would be Crop Estates and their farmers. So like I said, when you sponsor a farmer or you sponsor a crop through Grow for Me, you spread it so that your risk level is low. It's not just on one farm, so that if that single farm fails, you are screwed. It is on multiple crops and farms.
Okay, fantastic. Kobe, can you answer the question that's on the screen for you?
The line was breaking. I'm not getting the question well. Can you come up with a...
So what type of pineapple is Frederick farming? Sugarloaf or MD2?
Right. So thanks be to God, the land in the Kumfi is good for all the varieties. And if I say all the varieties, talking about smooth can, Sugarloaf, MD2. The factory process is 3.
I think we've lost Frederick. Hopefully he'll come back on. But in the meantime, there's still loads of questions. I can't believe today's just blowing off. Okay, so, but the good thing is that everybody's interested. That's the good thing. And I wanted to basically bring the two people on to say, look, there are opportunities in Ghana. And, you have the opportunity to invest. And especially in agriculture, like you said, we eat every day.
Yes.
We need food. Like we can't even feed the whole of Africa. And so, food is very, very important. And so this is the time for you to go into agriculture and invest. And, Center Show, we bring you the opportunity. So I want to make sure that your questions are answered. Excuse my co-host at the background because he's not listening to me. He knows I'm live on the show and I can't do anything about it at the moment.
Denta, I wanted to speak more about a Kumfi farms, and I think the opportunity presents in Ghana is that it increases the total capacity of pineapple juice production that is happening. At first you had one big one, which was Blue Skies, and now you have PH, and now you have Kumfi Farms. So the beautiful thing is that it provides any sponsor anywhere in the world to be part of this value chain. And what Grow for Me does is to sit in the middle to allow you to not just invest or sponsor in a crop, but see what is happening to the crop. And at the end of the harvest, it's then sold or traded to any of these production houses, whether it's a Blue Skies or it's an Kumfi farm or it's a small scale pineapple producing company, and then you get the chance to reap both your money and your profits and actually repeat the cycle, and not just in pineapple but then in other crops there. So it's very exciting, and I'm happy that a Kumfi farm actually is we are actually discussing and be locking in the relationship very soon.
Is on mute.
You're mute.
Sorry. Thank you so much. It's my co-host that's like, I'm just sitting here and I'm just like, oh my God, he's just annoying me for no reason. But I just want to say to everybody that this is a great opportunity for you to invest in Grow for Me, where they grow it for you. And like Lorraine said, if you want to take out your money, it's fine. If you want to reinvest it, even better. If you want to get the product out instead and export it yourself, that is also an option. You can start off with as little as $15 or 100 Ghana cedi or 20 pounds. This is the time that you can help. And the good thing about it is that you're helping a farmer. You know, a lot of farmers don't have the capital to do what they're doing. And so your investment will help them employ people as well on the farm and generate income for yourself, for your family, you know, and you get the title of being a farmer, you know, a professional farmer in suits. Whilst you're in your Canary Wharf or wherever it is that you're working, you have that title as a farmer as well, which you can put on your CV. Charlie, come on. So if you are in Africa, if you are in the diaspora, America, wherever you are, guys, what is $50? What is $100? Something that, you know, we all can just give away. And so invest that money. Close your eyes. If you're doing pineapple, close your eyes for 14 months and then, you know, see your money come into, you know, fruition. I've got Frederick back on. Frederick, sorry, we lost you.
Hi.
Yeah, so Frederick,
sure. Sorry.
Yeah, what's the minimum investment?
Right. I've lost touch of the figure now, but you can do as little as a quarter of an acre. That's a plot of land, which does like 5,000 of pineapples. I'll get you the figure before.
Okay, so Frederick, so if I have, you know, £100, can I invest?
Sure. It doesn't matter how little, provided we can get this portion of land for you, so you can. But you know, with such investment, you know, as I told you the other day when you came to the farm, I told you pineapple is a game of numbers, and you saw what was there. So yeah, I'll get the figures for you before we close.
Okay, fantastic. And for you, Frederick, how important is it for people in the diaspora to invest in your organization?
Okay, so I think I concur with you on the fact that, I mean, just put your money in there, knowing that it is secured by all these avenues that we create for you to invest. There's registered company, registered land. You have this insurance from the Agri Insurance Pool, which is government backed. We're supported by the Ministry of Agriculture. So, I mean, it is secured. It is secured. And the other investments that I call, you know, some months back or some years back, a few years back, there was this issues with investment that I call blind investment. You put your money in an investment that you're not too sure how it's being used. This is a physical and tangible investment. This is an investment you can visit. This is an investment you can put into an agro-tourism. I mean, you can go down with your family anytime you come down and you go to your plot of land. So you are a farmer, but somebody else is doing the dirty work for you. It's more secure.
Okay. And how often do you get your return on investment? Is it when the crop is sold off?
Sure.
Is it monthly? How does that work?
Sure. So it is sold off. So each of the crops come with their own unique arrangement. But basically, the returns are achieved on harvest and sale to the off-taker.
Sorry, I'm a bit slow today. And website details, how can somebody get in touch with yourselves? I know I've got your
trying to get it.
Email. I've put in Kobe's email address. Is there a particular website that they can go to find out more information?
Well, hello.
Frederick. Is there a website that people can visit? Okay, I think. Frederick, you're on mute. I don't know whether you can hear me, but you've put yourself on mute. Okay, I think I found the website, My Crop Share. Hold on, guys. I'm just going to put the website details for you. www.mycropshare.com.
Hello?
Hi, Kobe. I was asking for the website details, but I've just found it. I'm just going to share with everybody. Okay, so that is the website details for Frederick, My Crop Share. I also put down his details as well on there. Chrissy, do we have any more questions? If you have your questions, please, is the time for you to air it out to Frederick, Lorraine, or Nana. It's been a fantastic interview today. I'm hoping that all of you are going to become farmers by the end of this show. I am certainly going to become a farmer. I'm going to be DMing Lorraine after the show and saying, yes, you know, here's my £100, please invest it for me. And, you know, keep updating me with the pictures. This is something you can show your kids. Let's just invest, you know, let's help the farmers. Let's build our continent. This is the time for us to really show that we are passionate about Africa. And if we want the best for Africa, it's about us, me and you, the Africans, investing in Africa. So if you have any questions, now is the time for you to share your questions. Okay, someone says, I am interested. Again, I'm going to keep on putting everybody's details on here so that you can get in touch with them. It's very important that you send an email and contact the team who will be there to answer all your questions. I'm going to put the Grow For Me details up again. But I know that everybody is interested in investing.
Then a quick one. There was a question I saw up. I think Naturally GH, who's on our website at the moment, so they were trying to create a farm, but the crop schedule doesn't seem to work. Please make sure you kindly check maize 2, just because I think there's 2 maize options. So if you check maize 2, then it will give you the crop schedule correctly. If not, please feel free to reach out to me. My email is lorraine@growforme.com, and I can assist you immediately after the call.
So people are already creating accounts. Hey, people want to be farmers tonight, not even tomorrow. They want to be farmers tonight. This is fantastic. This is absolutely fantastic. Again, I've just shared Kobe's details on here. I think I've just lost him again, but that's fine. Let me share the Grow. Here's the website. Go on there and be a farmer today. Let's make sure that we all invest in Africa, not just talk. No. Let's invest now, guys. Let's invest now.
Denzel, you know what? I think, Lorraine, we could throw in something for our first sponsor on this show. Whoever sponsors, we should probably cover the trip to the farm for that person as an incentive for whoever sponsors first. And since I'm the CEO, I can take that decision on the show, so that's fine.
Hey, I like that.
Let's see who sponsors the first farm, and we are looking at the numbers live. And if someone does sponsor, we will cover that cost for you. That's if you're in Ghana to go see the farm. So let's see who does it.
So you can see people going on it live now.
Yes, I can see the number of people on our website. I can see people who are creating the farm, creating their farm. So I'm waiting to see the first person who would.
Hey, let me go on. Let me sign up myself.
Naturally, GH said it's working now for her, or him. Sorry, that's good.
I need to be doing this right now. So guys, let's go online. All of us, growforme.com. Sign in. I've just created my account. Let me see.
Some people asking about you also help to open up a bank account in Ghana. I always get this question. I mean, I would recommend, my own, there are many banks in Ghana. I can't recommend my own one, but I'm with Stanbic, for example, and they have diaspora accounts. So there are options for banks in Ghana that can help you if you do not have a Ghanaian ID. There are some that do offer you a diaspora account. So just reach out to the banks as ABSA, Standard Chartered, Fidelity, etc. Just reach out to the bank and see if they offer diaspora accounts for you if you do not have a Ghanaian ID.
Okay, and then do you take money? Do you take Momo?
We take
Yeah,
Momo.
we take Visa, MasterCard, Amex. Then there are 35 people on the website right now.
Oh my
And
goodness. You know, you have to allow me. I think I should still get a special because I cannot be doing the interview and typing at the same time. So I get a special
Absolutely.
one.
Absolutely.
Thank
Absolutely,
you.
Lenta.
So all of you there that I wanted to send money via Momo, please use World Remit. You can get your first 3 money transfers absolutely free. Use the link that I've just posted up on the screen, and you get it absolutely free. And it's a good rate. You can join up to 5.7 million people that are sending money worldwide. So go online right now, click on the link, and it will lead you to World Remit, and you can send money to Grow For Me to make sure that they, get the money and that you can start investing in your crop right away. So how's it going? How many people are on there now?
So I can see 52 people on the website right now, 62% on their computer and about 33% on their mobile and 6% on their tablet. And I can see that some people have tried to make payments now. It's 3D secure enabled, so make sure you complete the process. Otherwise, it will be at pending. So I'm waiting to see the first person who will sponsor a farm.
Wow.
55 now. We just hit 55 users on the platform right now. 56. It's just growing. It's crazy.
Wow, guys, make sure that you go online. I'm going to put the website up again. Let's go online. Let's fill out this form. I'm doing mine as well currently, whilst I'm trying to interview as well. Let's do it together. Denta, I have a question. Yes.
I think we have a winner.
We have a winner? Oh my goodness. Who's the winner?
So. I think so. I just need to confirm. I think.
Boss, okay. Why can't we offer everyone who signs up today with that chart? With that? No.
Okay, that's not bad. That's not bad.
Anyone that signs up before midnight tonight.
Okay,
I think we
can give the opportunity for more people to do it. Okay, that's great, Lauren. I agree with you totally.
Okay.
So I think I want to mention the one who got it first. Okay.
Okay. Who was that?
And we were on the show. We've been on the show since 7 o'clock, right?
Yes.
Okay. So as of for just successful transactions, when I made the statement, I saw that Cassandra in Tiamoa at 8:49 had made payments and sponsored a farm, just about 110 cedis, and she did that through her card. Then around the time the show began, that's around 7:20. I'm not sure if Lolan was watching the show, but at 7:20, the first person to sponsor a farm was Lolan. So I think I'll do exactly what my head of sales, Lorraine, is saying. We will give the chance up till 12. We will give people the chance to, that opportunity, that gift of covering the cost of visiting the farm.
Fantastic. This is brilliant. Oh my God. So we have a few farmers already. This is absolutely
right now.
We've got how many now?
Yeah, we have 82 people on the website right now. 82
people on the website. Come on, guys. You can do this. You can be a farmer. I want all of this 82 people to be farmers right now on the Denta Show. We are making history. We are getting farmers on Grow For Me right now, live on the show. You can be a farmer today. All you need is $50, $20, whatever it is that you have. Invest in the crop. You are helping a farmer. You're helping yourself. It's better than investing your money in a bank, where if it's ISA, you get about 1% or 2%. This is guaranteed money at the end of the crop. You will get money. to support your family, whatever it is. So make sure, guys, keep typing in your details. We have exactly 10 minutes to go. You should be able to. Yes.
We have our next farmer.
Wow.
Let's give it up for Vicky Osei. She just sponsored another farm, and it's called Kamaya's Farm. Wow, it's amazing.
Wow.
Give it up
I
to
love
Vicky
this.
Osei.
Okay, some questions. I'd like to address some of the questions that have come up as well. Some people have said they want to understand what a sponsor is. So to be very clear, a sponsor, and I want to just, for people that missed out very early on, there's a distinction between investment and sponsorship. Investment is obviously when you're buying an asset, so to speak. This is sponsorship where it's a profit sharing model. So you are sponsoring farmers to expand their farm to grow crops. And at the end of it, Grow For Me will essentially sell those items or those crops, and we will split that profit. So you as a sponsor are the person that's essentially invested or put the money towards the farm. You will be entitled to 50% of the profit. The farmer will get 35%, and Grow For Me as a company get 15%. So I hope that answers your question, you as a sponsor. There was another question that I saw. Someone said they don't have a Ghanaian bank account. You can pay with Visa, MasterCard. You can pay with mobile money. You can do a direct bank transfer. So if you go to the website and click bank transfer, it will give you our sort code, our IBAN, our account numbers, so you can transfer money directly into there anyway.
And you don't have to be Ghanaian. Do you have to be Ghanaian, Nana?
No, not at all. You don't have. As a matter of fact, we are opening up Ghana and Africa to the world to become farmers. So anyone. And guess what? We have our next farmer, Elena Opoku. Elena just funded and created Elena's Farm. And that is so amazing.
Fantastic. This is brilliant, guys. We have 5 minutes. I want to make sure that all 82 of you who are on the website currently sign up. This is fantastic. I also want to say a big thank you and a hello to one of our directors, George Amiyao, who is at GIPA in Kumasi. And he is watching at the moment and says this is a fantastic idea, and he's hoping that to have some partnership with yourselves and to make sure that it grows. And so big up to George Amiyao right now. Again, guys, I want to bring your attention to our show that's going to be happening whilst people are typing away. Our show on Sunday is going to be about dyslexia, the true gifts of a dyslexic mind, symptoms, causes, and treatments. This is going to be fantastic. As you know, Sundays are social Sundays, and this is the topic that we're going to be discussing. I don't know if most of you know, but I am dyslexic myself. And so it's a topic that's very dear to my heart. You can be successful and be dyslexic. You are not stupid. You are not dumb. These are some of the things that when I was growing up, a lot of people were saying, but I will show you and I will tell you. And these people that are going to be on the panel all are dyslexic as well. And they will share their stories, inspiring stories for you. How many farmers now do we have? How's it going?
Yeah, so we currently have 83 people on the website. I just have to say that maybe this particular farmer, Richard, tried to really sponsor, have a Go Farm, but he didn't complete the process. He would have been our biggest farmer today. But so Richard tried. But we have another farmer. We have second. Okay, have I already mentioned Cassandra Bando as our next farmer? Have I already mentioned the name?
Wow, Cassandra, well done. Excellent. What's her farm name?
C Bando. Her farm is called UKGH. UKGH. I think G Heritage. UKG Heritage Farm. Fantastic. That's the name of the farm.
Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. Great. Somebody has also said, do I have to have a Ghana bank account to invest?
No. So when I became a customer, I was a customer before I came on Grow For Me. I, paid with my Monzo card in the UK, so you don't have to do that. You can pay with, okay. You can pay. There's a lot of questions.
Can you please explain who is an off-taker or an outgrower, please?
Nana, do you want to go for it?
Yeah. So the farmer is the farmer, and he's also called an outgrower. Outgrower is more technical term, and he does the farming. Then when the farmer is done farming, we take the commodities and give it to off-takers or people who buy. So an off-taker could be a Kumfi pineapple processing plant or any other company that processes pineapple. Or for maize, it could be a poultry processing feed creation farm or something like that. So off-takers are anybody who would buy our produce and use it for something. And some of the off-takers may be out of the country, internationally or locally. Okay.
Oh, Deborah.
Have you seen Lee Farms? Have you seen Lee Farms on there?
Yes, I see some repeat farmers who've created multiple farms, and it's quite amazing. Cassandra is at it again. She's created another successful farm called Cassie's Farm. Cassandra wow. Has already like 2 farms, and it's amazing. So wow. Yes, we are down to 72 now, and I think it's quite amazing. Oh, we have another farmer right now, Nilori, if I can pronounce it right, Loha. Yes, Leonori Loha. It's called Loha Farms, and she just created another farm. It's quite amazing, Danta.
Fantastic, fantastic. Guys, I'm going to share the link in the comments box. We want to make sure that we get 100 farmers by midnight tonight. Hold on 1 second. Let me just post this again.
If you have children, if you've got parents, feel free to, set one up for them as well. That option is there for you. Someone's asked a question on the pineapple farm. Is that for our one or is that for crop? Maybe Denta, you can repeat the crop estates option as well.
Yeah. I've lost Frederick, but you can go on their website, guys. I will share that as well. Please go on there. And guys, share your pages. It's important that you share your pages. Don't just take this valid information and keep it to yourself. It's not fair. It's not right. It's not right. Make sure that you share it with a loved one and get somebody else also to invest in the farm. Let's keep sharing, let's keep liking, let's keep following, let's keep subscribing. We want to make sure that we give you the right opportunities on our platform. This is the right opportunity. You can become a farmer in the next 5 minutes, okay? And have your farm and see pictures of it, in due course. But this is the time that you can become a farmer. No more stressing over, oh my God, I have to get the land. Oh my God, I have to get employees. No. They've cut all of that out for you. Just bring the money. They'll do the investment for you, and you see it all online. Proxy. You're a proxy investor. You're there, just sitting there, drinking your cup of tea, and you are growing crop. When you come to Ghana, you can take your children to the farm and say, look, mommy, what mommy's growing, And I think this is really, really, really good. So guys, make sure that you go on there. Can you please? Okay, can you, Lorraine, can you quickly give us a brief?
Okay, the Grow For Me is essentially a web-based agricultural crowdfunding and crowd farming platform. So Sarah, you could be anywhere in the world. I don't know where you are, but you can essentially become a digital farmer where, as Denta has mentioned, if you've got some disposable income available, you can essentially sponsor a farmer, and we will basically grow crops on your behalf. Cycles range from 4 months up to 15, 16 months, depending on what crop you pick. At the end of the cycle, we would sell it. We are a registered broker on the Ghana Commodity Exchange. So we have access to both the open market and through the Ghana Commodity Exchange. We will sell the items and we will split the profits, where you as a sponsor will get 50% of the profits. The farmer will get 35% and we Grow For Me will get 15%. So I hope that summarizes essentially what the offer is.
I want to speak to, so I'll say, Monier, your transaction is failing because you are paying using the Ghana card section. So on the checkout page, you would see Ghana international cards. Select international cards and put your card details in and your address. So because you are using the Ghana section, your address is not accurate. So ADS is rejecting the transaction. So select the international card, put your card details, and then put your address. Then it will successfully go through.
There's a question.
Okay, question.
Yeah, crop or cash. So just repeat what this means. If you would like to, if you are doing pineapple, for instance, today, and you have maybe a smoothie bar and you would like to actually just grow pineapples and use it for your smoothie bar, you can opt to take it as crop. Or you may want to get into trading yourself into import and exports and you want to receive the crop as crop. You can do that, and then you can be able to you can basically sell the crop as you need to, or you can take it as cash, and cash is basically where the profits are. Nana, maybe you want to take the next question.
Yes, before then we have our next farmer, ECR Aduma. That's Richard. Actually just created his farm. Have a go farm. Congratulations, Richard. So the next question is try to sponsor, but it's a bit confusing because I don't see its dates, the time of growth and crop. So once again, Janet, you want to pick maize 2. Once you pick maize 2 as a crop, when you come to the period, you can that's the cycle. You'll be able to see the date range for maize 2. So select that and then indicate the number of units you want. So maybe Lauren will share her screen again and just walk you through the process all the way to checkout. So Lauren, you want to do that?
Yeah. Yeah, let me share my screen. Do you want to take the next question while I share my screen?
Yes. So how secure is your website? Do you have any data protection? Absolutely. So at the core, Kofi, the processing bank is ABSA. So ABSA processes all those transactions. And in Ghana, you need to be have a data protection, and you're part of the data protection. You know, the payment platform we use is actually part of the data protection platform, and this platform is used extensively by a lot of large companies and organizations for their payment process, so it's secure.
Okay, so for the people that are new to this, let me show you. So if you are picking maize, as I said, we've got maize and we've got pineapple available to you today. Maize 2, as I said, for those people that missed out earlier on, maize was the first cycle. That was full capacity within a week. Maize 2 is what's available today, and pineapple is also available. If you want maize 2, you'll select maize 2. You will name your farm. So maybe you want to name it Anthony's Farm. The crop schedule will be the one that is coming up very soon. So we will start farming for you from the 15th of September. However, as Nana has said, anyone that signs up today will get a free, we will cover the cost of your farm visit if you are in Ghana. You would select the crop schedule. You'll then pick however many units you want. If you are outside of the country, just take your amount and convert it into your local currency. But soon we'll be, the next version of our website will also do a conversion for you. But right now, you just select how many units you would like. Bear in mind that a unit is the equivalent of 1/8 of an acre. So those people that are familiar with buying land in Ghana, you would normally buy land in plots. 1 acre is the equivalent of 4 plots. So therefore, 1 unit is the equivalent of half of a plot, just to make it transparent or clear for you. So when you select how many units you want, it will on the right-hand side calculate for you all of the costs. If today you wanted to get 10 acres, you would simply put in 80 units. That 80 units will show you that it costs 8,853 Ghana cedis, which is roughly £1,200 or something like that if you're in the UK. And then it will show you, we always give a range. And again, I have to be very transparent here. As a form of investment, we can never guarantee you the exact returns, but we offer you a range, both a low and a high. So on the minimum, what you'll get back, and on the maximum, what you'll get back. Now, on the front page, it shows you the cycle. So by cycle, I mean from the moment we start planting, which is 15th of September for maize, to the moment we finish and we harvest, which is the 8th of February 2021. You would get back your proceeds, i.e. the principal amount and the profits by the early part of March. So you could, and a number of questions that came today was, can you just reinvest? And absolutely you can do that. So you can take your money, you can not take it out. but you could keep it in and reinvest into the next cycle. There is more information you get on the site by expanding this section, where it will show you more details about the two variables. The main variables are the yield, so how much yield in kilos will be produced by the maize or the pineapple, and the selling price. With us being a registered broker of the Ghana Commodity Exchange, we get live real-time data in terms of how much prices are for maize, pineapple, whatever we're trading, soybean, etc. So it will calculate for you what your profit will be based on what you selected. Now, using this example of 10 acres, it shows me that my profit as a sponsor is 1,198 cedis based on that, based on what we've put in. So in total, on the low side, on the high side, my profit is 2,173 cedis. Now, in total, what will come back to you early part of March will be on the low side 10,051 cedis or 11,026 cedis. Now, once you've done that and you've selected how much, so today I would like 10 acres, you would select whether or not you want that as cash or you want that as crop. As I said, cash is where you're taking the money, crop is where you're simply taking the crop. If you want pineapple, you take it as pineapple. If you've got maize, you take it as raw maize. So you select cash in this instance. You can pay by card, by mobile money, or bank transfer. Your card options are international cards or local Ghana cards, or you can pay with mobile money, or you can send us a bank transfer. If you click on bank, it will give you our bank details, which is with GT Bank in Ghana, and it will show you our sort code, our account number, and you can simply transfer the funds to that account. Now, if you're paying with card, you simply come here, you click Pay Now, and it will direct you to the page where you would need to pay. If you are using a Ghana-based card issued by one of the local banks in Ghana, you select Ghana issued card and you put in the payment details. If you are using an international card, Monzo, Barclays, whatever it may be, Bank of America, Santander, you simply select international card and you then put in the details relevant there. If you pay with mobile money, you pay with mobile money account details. Once you've done that, simply click Pay Now, and then you'll be able to finalize your payment. Once you have finished paying, and you would have access to a section that says farms. However, because the farming date hasn't started, you wouldn't see much information. Once we started farming from the middle of September, you come back to the platform and you'll start to see the progress made on your farm. You'll start to see the land preparation pictures. You'll start to see how we're progressing with planting. You'll start to see the crop growth. And you'll also have access to various satellite images. As I said, we partner with Airbus. So you'll be able to see real-time satellite images here. And very soon, we've just hired a drone pilot. You'll start to see drone images appear here as well. So that's the various content and the various things that you see on the site. So it's quite intuitive and quite seamless. When you sign up, you'll see there'll be a contract that we highly recommend you review that contract before signing it. Sign that, and then you'll be put forward to then do to purchase your farm. So that's it. Nana, in the time I've done that demo, how many people have signed up?
It's amazing, Laureen. Our biggest farmer this evening goes to Miss E. Badagi. Miss E. Badagi's farm is amazingly big and huge. And I think she deserves an amazing round of applause for being our biggest farmer to date. And we have about 4 people. So 3 people, sorry. We have Orika Somoye, who has just funded a farm. And we have Michael Adong, also who did a very significant farm. So tonight we have created over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 farmers. We have 19 farmers tonight.
And wow. There's a couple of questions. People keep asking about the referral incentives. Please, there is a referral scheme. Feel free, where you'll get a payment for every person you refer. So please do reach out to me. My email is lorraine@growforme.com, and I'll tell you more about the referral process. If someone says they're trying to sign up but their email's not confirmed, please do check your email, maybe your spam or your maybe I don't know if you've got any junk mail. Just check that, because you should get your email through that. It's normally instant So if you maybe check if you put in the correct email address. What else have we got? Someone said the site.
Sorry. I think you want to speak to and explain to people why we give for those who refer, why we do pay something or a commission to them. So to every business, there's a cost of acquiring a customer, a CAC, and either the business spends that money directly on advertisements to get those customers, or either someone refers that customer to the business. So that cost of acquiring the customer is what we are literally giving back to you as money that would have spent, so that we clear any wrong idea in someone's mind about why is there a certain referral scheme. Because every business would spend money to acquire customers. So for you to put in that effort, then you deserve that spend. Back to you, Lauren.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think the best thing about this, and the only reason I came on board to this, is especially around, I think there's power in referring people or reputation of people that you've been referred by. And so I think it's absolutely important that, it's your network that are the people that you need to share this opportunity with. And, for me, the only reason I signed up to this as well is because I knew someone. So I think that's the reason why it's important for us to have that referral program in place. Troy just got a farm. Congratulations, Troy.
Okay, so let me check now. We have who our latest farmer is. Oh, wow. So we have Troy Joseph. Yes, Troy just had a farm. And we have Rafael Sagage, if I'm pronouncing it well. Rafael also has a farm. So it's just amazing the number of farmers we have. And, it's just amazing. Even though the number of people on the website is going down at this point in time, you see that the number of farmers or sponsors are actually increasing. And that means that those who really value and are passionate about agriculture are still watching and are still, putting their money where their mouths are. So it's just amazing.
Someone asked a question again about cash and crops, so I'll address that question again. Cash is where you are taking out the profits and the proceeds. So you would like to receive the profits as in currency format. However, if you maybe have a business that's in import and export of commodities or crops, or maybe you even have a smoothie bar or some kind of shop or a restaurant, maybe you want the crop as a crop, you want it as pineapple, you want it as maize in its raw form. So that option is there for you if you want that. Are these Ghana prices or American prices? This is all in Ghana cedis.
Yeah.
So do feel free to use Google or another FX converter. But the option there for you, in the future, we are looking to add various currency onto the site as well. Are cocoa beans ever going to make an... No, please go ahead.
Sorry. We just have two more farmers who join the family. We have Na Adua. She has just created a farm, and then Andy Gushi, who's also created a very amazing farm. So we really look forward to having such a wonderful time this season. And his farm is for Cruiser Vibes, and I really like the name of his farm, for Cruiser Vibes. That's Andy. Back to you, Lauren.
Yeah, I think there's been some questions around mango and cocoa beans. Nana, do you want to address those?
Yes. So for tree crops like mango, cocoa beans, cashew, these are long-term crops, and the structure for those ones will be available soon. And just to let you understand how we put in the crops, first we start with the market. There must be a market that's off-takers who are ready to buy these commodities in large quantities, so that when you create your farm and you fund it, and the harvest is grows and is harvested, you have someone constantly buying, so that your crop can now be turned to cash and given back to you. That is if you do not want a crop. So that's the process. And with that process in mind, we do not just list crops and commodities on our website. We need to do a lot of work to get off-takers first, and then allow people to fund their farm. So if you're here and you know anyone who needs any of these crops, cocoa, cashew, mango, in large quantities, we'll be happy to talk to them, because then they become our off-taker base, which to a large extent determines the price points at which you would actually get returns. So someone said, I'm getting an error trying to pay for a farm. Once again, Roxanne, just be sure you have completely filled everything that is required. And please don't forget to pick the international card option to put in your card details. It is 3D secure enabled. So as a card holder, your bank will give you a token in your email, which you need to enter to continue or complete the payment process. Going back to you.
Or Roxanne, if you have more issues, please feel free. Or let's do it this way, because I'm sure everyone probably. I'll be happy to give out my phone number, so you can WhatsApp me. So my WhatsApp number is +233 206 482341. I'll repeat that again. It's +233 206 48. So feel free to reach out to me and I can help you. Maybe send me a screenshot and I can show you. I can see what happened with that. There's a question on if you're in the UK, Monzo is converting at £1 to 7.585, which is pretty good. I saw someone did it through TransferWise yesterday at 7.6, but that's pretty good at 7.58. Someone's asked a question around the crop schedule. Crop schedule, if you pick maize 2, it would enable you to, it will show you directly what the option for crop schedule is. So currently it will be the 15th of September. So you simply select that option. That's if you select maize 2, so the maize 1.1. So in other words, maize, the one that you see with maize 1.1 is maize 2 that we're referring to. Someone's asked my number again. My number is +233 206 482341. You can feel free.
Nana, have you seen my farm? Nana, have you seen my farm?
Yes, I could see an amazing farm called one. I see Na Adua's farm again. I see Doreen Ahoma's farm. It's an amazing farm. Then I see Diana Batel's, and I see A. Amwating's farm. And
that's
I see
me.
Okay,
that's
great. There you are, finally. It's called Guba Farms. Wow, it's such an amazing name. Guba Farms. Awesome. So Denta, you have your farm right there. Great.
I'm a farmer. To say on my friend is say on my profile, I'm changing
it. Once your farm starts, the images of the farm has the Grow For Me logo there, right? So you can get to share it on your social media pages. And we're going to give you one image that is more like I'm a farmer, which would have something like a badge you can use on your social media platforms.
Okay. Someone's asked questions, not accepting Cash App. Yeah, so you can use your Visa, your MasterCard, your Amex, mobile money, or bank deposit. Those are the formats of payments we take. Someone said, how much is maize 2 in US dollars? So it's approximately $18 thereabouts. Someone's asked for my number again. It's +233 206 482341.
And put it on our private chat so I can put it up on the screen.
Okay. And then someone's asked about the cost of pineapple. Pineapple is 2,300 Ghana cedis. So in pounds, that's roughly 250 pounds, I believe. I could be wrong, but feel free to use a converter for that. 206 482341. So please WhatsApp me. No calls because it's kind of late. So please kindly just WhatsApp me and I will send me a screenshot if you're having issues and then I will help you out with that. Someone said they haven't heard of their farm being read out yet. Jennifer, now have you seen Jennifer's farm?
Let me see quickly. Jennifer. Okay. So Jennifer, what's let me see. Okay, I can see Jennifer. Jennifer's farm is called For Motive 1. Great, For Motive 1. So Jennifer, your farm is right here. I can see it. Great job joining our family of farmers, Jennifer. I will probably work with cash card info. I use mine to pay for staff vacation. It's just like a bank card. Okay, Troy.
Okay, crop schedule thing keeps coming up. So to be very clear, if you're doing maize, please select the bottom option, maize 2. So you'll see maize 1-1. That is the second cycle of maize. Why? Because we've already done the first cycle. So this is the second cycle. So it'll be maize 1-1. I think it's evident from today's session that we'll make this more seamless, so it'll be easier to get through that. But if you select maize 1-1, maize 2, then the crop schedule will automatically come. When you select crop schedule, the option will be there for you.
Fantastic. Okay, I think we're going to have to wrap up. I'm so glad that so many people have become farmers on the Denta Show live tonight. It's been fantastic how you guys have just embraced Grow for Me on our platform today. I hope that we will get the 80. How many people on that line at the moment, Nana?
Right now we have 48 people online. It seems that people, it's picking up again. First we were about 83, it dipped. Now we have 48, 47. And okay, it's interesting that the people who are listening now, actually the farmers, they are converting to be farmers. And we just had Anatete join as a farmer now. And I think now has created another farmer again. That's amazing. That's amazing.
Fantastic. This is absolutely brilliant. Any last words before we go, Lorraine?
No, just thank you for the opportunity. Thank you for tonight. And yeah, so from the 15th of September, you'll start to see your farm appear. Please do join our Telegram group. It seems like people are shy of Telegram. So please feel free to join that group to keep up to date. And yeah, you are doing, not only are you investing and reaping returns for yourself, but you're really doing good by investing in farmers and really helping to solve some issues that are occurring relating to the Sustainable Development Goals in terms of solving the gaps with hunger and food security, making food affordable and accessible to all. So thank you all.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate you. And King Nana?
Yes.
Your last few words.
Yes, so I'm so excited that this vision of making food affordable and accessible to all is becoming a reality on the Denta Show. And thank you so much, Denta, for this great opportunity. Thank you for the chance to give people an opportunity to write their own history. For the first time, we don't need to go to any international donor to raise funds for agriculture. We are coming to our people, and our own people are actually coming out and making a change. And I just want to see, in the next future, what I foresee is that cocoa board in Ghana wouldn't have to go out to find external investors from maybe big investment houses. They will come to Africans and say, hey, we have to raise $1 billion for the next cocoa season, and who wants to be part? And we're going to have ordinary people coming in to raise $1 billion for our cocoa industry. And then we can begin to determine some price points and increase the value that comes to our farmers in whichever industry. So I just want to say I'm so excited about this. I'm excited that we're making this possible. And once again, I want to say something special to our head of sales. Laureen, you're amazing. I want to acknowledge you right now that you are an amazing person. We're so happy about the impact you're having on Grow for Me. And we really, really look forward to the many people that are going to be impacted by your life.
Man, there was a question about Telegram group. Telegram group, you will get an email. So it's only for paid sponsors. You'll get an email and that will tell you how to join the Telegram group.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for joining me on the show. Thank you. Also, how many farmers do we have now that have paid?
So, let me count now. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33 farmers today. 33
How much?
farmers.
Wow.
33.
Okay, Maria, why is that? What's the issue? Please let us know what the issue is. Well done, Lorraine, says Eben. Faith says great content and thanks, Denta. Nana, Lorraine, yes, we can do it ourselves. Blessings. Thank you all. Somebody says I came late. Don't worry. This is going to be online. You can watch it all over again and get involved as well. KK says still signing on. This is great. You guys are great. Thank you so much. We really appreciate you all. So go to Grow For Me. Grow For Me. I just got here, LOL. Oh, why are you late? Why are you late? Don't worry. This will be on the social media, on the YouTube and also on Facebook. So you can watch it and get involved and subscribe to it as well.
Then we have Danny, Isaac, Anna, Nana, Adua. They all just created their farms, just like in a 1 minute interval.
Wow. So we have 35 now.
Mm-hmm.
This is fantastic. This is really, really fantastic. Well, we've been on here for 2.5 hours and we've managed to get over 30 farmers online right now on the Dentist Show Live. I hope that you will keep sharing this page. I hope that you will keep investing in Africa.